What?
Sorry,
Goodness,
A schizophrenic can make a
Sometimes.
good argument. Do you think that's possible?
Yes,
What?
it's possible.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. It's happened
Okay,
plenty of
can a
times.
doctor
I've known
make a bad
schizos and
argument?
bipolars
Sure.
and all kinds of people who made good arguments.
Plenty of doctors have made bad arguments.
Go ahead, Spin.
Okay, Dr. Blinky, I've got a question for you.
That's you, Blitz.
You touched on evolution, you touched on all the other bullshit
Mm-hmm.
that, you wanted to. Tell me, how was the Earth and the Moon and Uranus and everything else created?
Do you mean how
It
did they
all
form?
goes back to that.
They formed in a protoplanetary disk.
Oh.
Gravitational instabilities form.
So basically
panels
a
of-
big rock just, formed, right?
Yeah, gravitationally. This is a pretty well understood topic. If you have basically a
how
channel
did
of
then
rubble like the
then
asteroid
how did
belt,
all the trees get created? How did all the grass get
that's
created?
biology, not physics. The grass didn't come with the Earth. The Earth formed first, and then grass.
So
4 billion
so
years
grass
later,
just formed on a big
evolved.
rock.
Yeah, the Earth is a big rock covered in water.
So water came from a rock?
Well, water is on a rock, right?
No, it came from a rock.
Well, I mean, if you're asking where the Earth got its water from, the best idea is probably from comets, and maybe some of it was on Earth originally.
So from a rock.
But
Well,
you're still
sure,
not. You're still. You have so many fucking holes in your story.
Find one.
Be nice. Be
Find
nice.
one.
You really do.
Okay, find
Point
one.
'em
So, what? So whatever his fucking name is, Felix down there has a point.
Yeah, what's the
Water
point?
came from a rock.
You know that ice is a rock, right?
No shit.
But ice is
So
water.
yeah, water can come from rocks.
But
Ice
how
is
did
water.
Ice
how
is
did
water.
but you're
Ice
still
is
not
H2O.
explaining how the ice was formed
Ice is
out of
just
a rock
H2O.
to
Hydrogen is the most
create a
abundant-
rock.
Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. Oxygen is the fourth most abundant element in the
Ice is
universe.
H2O.
It is a very simple chemical reaction to bring hydrogen and oxygen next to each other and create water. Very simple.
You think all of it would have had to come from an outside source, like one of these pieces being drugged to us that already had the H2O on it? There's
What?
nothing chemical,
So, yeah,
something that could have
so
caused it to create on
There's
its
something
own.
called the is it the ice line or the freezing line? The frost line? Maybe it's the ice line. Anyway, the snow line.
Where did the
that's-
frost line come from?
No, it's called the snow line. So the snow line is a place. It's a particular location
Came from a
beyond
rock.
beyond which gaseous water vapor can solidify. It's cold enough and the pressure is right. So you can form ice beyond the snow line, and then on the if you're inside the snow line, then you don't have ice. It's too hot.
So it came from a
And
rock.
so that ice
Okay,
is rock.
okay,
The ice is
dumbass.
rocks.
Tell me how a rock was created.
A rock.
Let's
Does ice count as a
let's
rock?
hold a
Yeah,
thought
we
here.
were doing
hold
so
on,
well.
hold on. I know we were doing so good.
It's okay. He's angry. He's angry
No,
because his
I'm not
mind is
angry.
comprehending
Pardon me
of
for
the
just a
world.
moment, because Dr. Blitz has been nothing but respectful to all of our panelists here. Okay. And I would
agree.
think that with somebody who has a PhD, he's answered all of my questions and he's actually been respectful enough to dumb them down for me without telling me I'm stupid, right? I don't think he's a dumbass. So let's move forward in a positive way where Dr. Blitz will want to come back again, because I don't think
I might
in
wanna
this
come back again
scenario,
regardless.
I
I might
don't
want to
care.
anyway.
It's not the point. We match energy, but you have not been an asshole to anyone here tonight, even though people have
I
challenged
agree,
your
Sarah. I agree.
everything that you've said. I don't think you're a dumbass, nor will I approve of anyone calling you a dumbass,
I agree,
because
Sarah.
I'm not talking to you, Felix. Shut up. But merely the idea that you've been so fucking respectful, and that is a rarity around here, and I would like it to be returned to you just the same. So
Well, I do
Try-
appreciate that.
try again, Spin.
Thank
Okay.
you, Sarah.
How was a rock created?
Yeah. So I actually made a video about this not a few days ago.
That's funny.
So there's a very slow process I forget what it's called, where essentially you have like dust, right? Dust just exists in space, like tiny little particulate pieces of matter. Think of it like dust is the right word, yeah. And so
Dust in small rocks, right?
no, it can be even simpler than that. It can be like a tiny little molecule even. But the point is that if you're past the snow
molecule
line,
is a rock. It's a small rock.
a molecule is not a rock.
It's
A grain of sand that heat? No, obviously not. Anyway, let me continue. The point is near the snow line, what you can have is ice. Ice can exist. So you can just have like, a few molecules of ice just floating out next to each other, and ice is sticky. So when you have one thing that's covered in a few molecules of ice, bumps into another thing that's covered in a few molecules of ice, they can stick together. Because ice is sticky. You've seen this in a freezer. The ice cubes will often stick together. And so over hundreds of millions of years, you can accumulate large, clumps of ice that has rock strewn about inside of it. That's, a foot across.
Is it me or is he echoing?
Am I okay? Echoing?
A molecule is
like God.
Hold on, Felix. Hold on. Yeah, there's an echo coming off, and everybody's muted, right? Let's just mute everybody. I think you all are. I'll mute myself too, and now I want you to talk.
Hello.
Testing?
Hello.
Not you, Dr. Blitz.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Okay, I think he's coming in fine now, right? Try talking now.
Yeah, it should be fine. I wasn't hearing the echo. It was okay. Good.
Okay, we're good.
Somebody was echoing, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Right. So over, and this has been modeled out over 100, 200 million years, you can just get clumps of ice that are a foot across. And once you have those, it's pretty easy to see how you can get gravitational instabilities that lead to collapses into large clumps of ice and rock. And those large clumps of ice and rock can form planets.
Did you have a response to that?
But let me sit on it for a second. I will respond to it. Just let me sit on it for a second, Sarah, please.
A molecule is not a physical object.
A molecule is a physical object. Yeah.
It's a rock.
You change the definition of rock a little.
No.
What?
Not all molecules. Look, as a guy who believes in the 6,000-year-old model, no, molecules are not rocks, guys.
But there are kind of rocks, I'm saying. They're physical concrete objects.
This is bad.
Not everything that's concrete is a rock. We're not talking about the concrete that you make.
Physical concrete.
Are your boogers rocks?
Are they no physical concrete molecule?
No, boogers are not rocks.
Is a rock not physical concrete?
There is a $10 thing you can boot somebody and bring somebody else up.
That's true.
Yep, and Crowd just applied that and put Joe to the back, and somehow he left Spin untouched on that one. I'm shocked. I'm very shocked.
Well, I'll give my reasons.
Took out Kraut, and Kraut's taking out Joe Cool, and this dude over here that's saying some of the wildest shit.
Yeah. I'll give my reasons why I did that.
Love it.
It's strictly Joe's Cool's laugh. Like, it's very hard to listen to Joe Cool. He's not an idiot. He's actually pretty smart. It's just a laugh. I don't know. I'd rather hear the Barney laugh because I got that shit myself. But his laugh, I don't know, man. It gets unbearable at times. But Spin, why the fuck you kick me instead of Felix, bro? Come on. Anyways, since I'm talking anyways, I'm just going to bring up, I agree with where Spin is getting at, but he's arguing from the wrong standpoint. Now, I forget exactly how water ended up on Earth. It has something to do with, ice freezing or whatever.
Because he's arguing from a sit point. He said, not standpoint. He's a sit point.
So
it's rocks all the way down here.
So he asked where the trees come from, and trees actually came from algae in the water. As the water rose, algae came along on the land, and the water would decrease and rise. Algae came on the land, and then they eventually formed the trees. So yeah, what Ben said, Spin has a point though. Eventually, I don't think most science would contradict God, but it all comes back to how was the Big Bang created? Where did all these
Mm.
particles come from? That's ultimately where it always comes from.
So
And
I
Spin sent a Cash App to trade out Felix for Joe Cool. Finally, somebody was picking up what we were putting
There's
down.
some fighting that's
Say-
happening here.
Spin, you're a rock star.
I'm glad my lab could make Sarah some money, and I hope it makes you more than that.
Aw, I love your laugh. My mom and I laugh. But like we'll be on the phone and one of us will do the ha ha ha. You're like a household name at this rate.
Good.
Sarah,
back
I
to
will
you.
Sarah, I will send you the MP4 of him laughing if you.
Yeah.
No, it's right here. I don't need the MP4. It's right here. Go
I
ahead.
swear to God, I thought that guy was. I would have said that guy was Smart Scott if I didn't see him ahead of time. Like
Yeah.
if I didn't see him ahead of time, and I thought that dude was trolling so hard. He was, and I got some different weed today, so I'm already a little bit more stoned than
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah.
And fucking that dude was killing me. Oh fuck, that was hilarious.
So I
Fair
got to
enough.
follow up.
Back to you,
on-
Clay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to follow up on you, Dr. Blitz, what we were talking about earlier. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the young Earth creationist models. You know probably what I'm going to present already before I even say it. You know, a lot of people also know this, that the young Earth creationists attribute a lot of things to the early years in Genesis. So what I'm referring to is everything before the flood. Essentially, what the scriptures describe is that there was essentially more or less a canopy, and that the rains let out, the canopy let out, and then also the deep let out. Right. So with that said, there's all sorts of things that can be attributed to that. And I just wanted to see how you responded to that particular viewpoint on young Earth.
Look, so my contention is that surely we agree that like the vast majority of scientists think that obviously there was no flood. Like that this the position of the vast majority of scientists. And so I can understand, like, if your position is Bible first, science second, sure. I can understand why you would then believe that the flood happened, because it's described in Genesis, what, like 6 or something like this. But
Sure.
like, what are we doing? Right? I mean, if you go to Job 38, it says the earth is flat. Like, are we now obligated to think that the earth is flat? Like,
No.
I don't know. I don't think that we have to
Doesn't.
believe everything that it says in the Bible. I mean, it says that the earth takes shape like clay under a seal. That's flat.
Yeah, that's a misinterpretation of what it's actually describing there.
I'm reading
But-
like 5 different
go on.
translations, and they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's
like-
it's definitely a misinterpretation of what it's actually saying there.
so could you be misinterpreting the flood story?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm the one who actually believes it and actually studies that part, right?
Right.
You study science, I study history, right?
Mm.
How much history have you studied if you think that there was a flood?
A lot.
Okay, what about, so when do you think the flood happened? When about?
Yeah.
4,400 years ago, 4,000 years ago or so?
It's about 40. Yeah,
I've heard
44,
4,300, I've heard 4,000, so.
Yeah, it's closer to 44, 45 probably.
Okay, so why do we have continuous Egyptian culture existing going back more than 5,000 years?
Based on what?
The existence of the Egyptian culture. We can track their kings over 5,000 years back into the past. Well, they stopped having kings like 2,000 years ago, but from the pre-dynastic period all the way up to the New Kingdom, we can track their entire history.
So
And it's
what
completely continuous throughout the flood, throughout when the flood was supposed to happen.
what specific archaeology are you pointing to?
The entire dynastic history of Egypt, right? We have monuments that, like, I mean,
like
how old
specific.
so do you want me to pull up like specific, like the pyramids? When were the pyramids built?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So this
When,
is.
do you know when the
history.
pyramids were built?
Yeah.
Because
So
we can pull this up. So the Great Pyramids were built 20 or 4,600 years ago, which is,
Say it
you
again.
know, the Great Pyramid was built 4,600 years ago, which is 200 years
Okay.
before the flood. We know exactly who built it. We have continuous record of this person's
It's
this person,
pretty damn
this
close
pharaoh.
to the very existence of that flood, right? So it's
So
pretty,
this pharaoh was followed by that pharaoh, was followed by that pharaoh, was followed by that pharaoh, from before the flood to after the flood. We have that. We have
the
like
oldest-
that whole continuous.
the oldest finds in archaeology that we actually date, like as far as history goes. We're not going to use radio dating. Let's not do that, right? But archaeological
Well, I don't
finds.
know why we
according
shouldn't
to-
do that, but sure.
Well, because then you're relying on something that is fallible, really, like extremely fallible.
And history is not.
Well, yeah, because when you're actually talking about writings and inscriptions and
So the writings and inscriptions that we have from Giza go back before 4,400 years ago, or from Egypt. I'm sorry,
okay,
not Giza.
you said 4,600.
Yeah, so the Great Pyramid was built in
That's
in
pretty close.
4,600. That's 200 years before
Is
the
anything-
flood could have been.
Did we find anything else prior
Oh
to
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Written
The
history.
Great Pyramid is not the oldest thing that we have from Egyptian archaeology. It's just the most famous.
Written history, right? Written archaeology or
Yeah. Well,
inscriptions,
so
pictographs.
yeah,
and
we have inscriptions that are far older than the Great Pyramid.
and they date
Not
themselves.
just the Egyptians. You're gonna have to argue the Mesopotamians, the Chinese. You gotta argue a lot more societies when you're done arguing Egyptians.
American in places where they have another flood.
It's all based on radio dating.
So how do you figure that? So do you think that like in the 3,000 years ago,
I'm
supposedly
looking for
after the flood,
historicity, and when I'm looking for historicity,
they
what I'm
didn't write
doing-
dates like we do.
This
They didn't
okay, the
use the
same
Julian
thing.
calendar.
The same thing that you mentioned about tree rings or the
Mhm.
varv.
I didn't mention tree rings, but sure.
The tree rings or the varv. That's
Yep.
essentially the same thing, right?
Well,
what you're doing
it's
is you're
lake
actually,
sedimentation. but sure.
Amen.
you're calculating upon each specific layer, right? Now, if I'm looking for layers, what I'm doing is I'm actually going back in time and I'm looking at year for year for year for year for year and all the way up into current day history.
We
right?
basically don't have any of that up until like maybe 1,500 years ago.
Okay.
Hey,
Like
I'm
they
getting
just,
off.
people just didn't
What are we
record
basing
years
our
in that
history
way.
on? So then what are we basing our historicity off of?
Often it's based off of relational dating. So for example, if you know that this thing happened in the year 2200, and then if you know that this person was writing in
Who's
I don't
breathing
know,
into their mic?
the year 100 CE or something like that, and they say, yes, 300 years ago, XYZ thing happened. Even if we don't have evidence of XYZ thing happening 300 years ago, that gives us a way that we can figure out when that thing happened by relational
Right.
dating.
So
But
essentially,
the
what
other
you're
way
saying
is by using carbon dating.
yeah, carbon dating, right?
We
Carbon
use
dating.
that to figure out
Yeah,
the dates of archaeological sites.
So let me ask you about that carbon dating thing, because that's
Yeah,
really
sure.
what you're relying on. You're really not relying on the historicity. You're relying
Well,
on
I mean, the history that you believe is often carbon dated. That's how we figure out what
I don't
exactly
have a
happened.
problem with that, but I'm not looking at that personally. I'm
So then
not.
how are you coming to the dates? Because people didn't write dates like we do 2,000
The same way you were just describing, and I wanted to go into that a little bit.
Sure.
Right, which is actually so let's say that the European tribes or whatever had a date that lined
They
up
didn't.
with
They didn't have dates.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Let's say that they had a date that they inscribed something, whatever, wrote something down that they traded with someone over in Asia, and then you go look at the Asian dates, and yeah, there it is in that date, right? There's that, and then the Asians traded with the Indonesians, right? So they traded there, and so you go back in time, just like you're saying, right? So when you're looking at that, yes, we can do that. But then what we're needing to do is we're finding whatever quote unquote archaeological evidence exists based on historical documents, actual historical documents. So like if I write a book, I'm not going to convince anybody that I wrote it at the same time Mark Twain wrote his fine works, right? I'm just not going to be able to do that because they're going to say, wait a minute, you dated your writing at 2026, and we know that Mark Twain didn't live in 2026, so there's no way that you wrote yours at the same exact time, right? So you can make the claims that these things happened 6,400 years ago, but where's the extrapolated evidence? So you date it to this, to this, to this. At some point, that stops.
Yeah.
Right?
So can you find me an example of something that has like a date on it in this way, where we can extrapolate out a date to that even goes back 3,500 years?
Yeah, some of the oldest writings are found in the Hebrew scriptures, right?
The
but you also
the oldest text of the Hebrew scriptures usually put it around 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then those segments.
Right, but those don't have dates on them.
Right. No, I agree with that.
So we actually, this is actually one of the problems with why we don't know when the oldest text of the Hebrew scripture is found, because they don't have dates on them. So I was asking for an example of something that we can date in this way that you're saying is so reliable, that is more than 3,000 years old. Like, can you give me an example?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what a real difficulty is here, that a lot of scrolls and documents were lost in Alexandria when the
interestingly it's false. It's actually this is a common myth. This is a common myth. The Library of Alexandria did burn down, but it's generally thought that basically everything that we lost there is somewhere else. It's just what the why the Library of Alexandria burning down was so tragic is because it was a huge repository. But there were copies of basically everything there found elsewhere.
Right, and it was organized too.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
they were doing was they were actually trying to organize based upon the historicity, because they didn't have things like fake carbon dating and all of that stuff.
You keep saying fake carbon dating. Would you be surprised to learn that if you carbon date like the events of the Vesuvius eruption and Pompeii, actually, it's not even carbon dating. I think they used argon dating, which is generally much harder to get to more recent dates. If you use argon dating on the Vesuvius eruption, it gets you the exact year that we know it happened. Doesn't seem like it's very unreliable.
Right, and it's not the only kind of dating. And if I may go back to the Hebraic scriptures, they were written in layers as well. The oldest parts of the Hebraic scriptures are not, in fact, the Torah. So it's really hard to align dates to those events. You have to understand that this was an accretion and a culture building. Oh, sorry, sir.
That's okay. That's okay. Cash App came in from Spin to boot Kraut and bring up Bones. But I do know for a fact Kraut did want to make an exit, but he did have a question for Clay first before he was going to leave. So at least want to give him that opportunity, and then we'll boot you, Kraut.
I appreciate that. Spin, what the fuck I do to you? All right. Well, two things. One, it's amazing how many people in chat don't actually know how a planet is formed. I feel like that's like first or second grade science. And again, it doesn't go against my religion and God. But Clay, it's a funny little tidbit. Like we always mention, we got our different opinions on rights. Would you say rights are objective or subjective?
There are two types of rights. Those
The
granted
rights that the USA granted us.
right, those that are granted to no. Those that are granted to you by God. I would 100% agree with that, and some people would call them natural rights. The other are called legal claims. Those are the things that we as a people agreed upon, that this is what we're going to go by. It is law. So there's two different types. So neither one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh shit, yeah. We don't even disagree on the rights then. All right, yeah, that's all I got. Hey, Blitz, yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Likewise.
I always love it when people, even with different opinions, seem like they're coming from a base viewpoint and not a biased viewpoint. I can't stand biasism. We had a doctor want to be like a month ago, I think Dr. Phil or some shit like that. He even admitted he comes at it from a biased standpoint. What the fuck are we listening to you anyway? But everybody have a good night, man. I got work in the morning.
Thank you, Kraut. Have a wonderful evening. While I'm on that note, Inquisitive sends in another 10 and says, those that have studied history and the Bible have found very little history in the Bible. The Bible is contemporary propaganda trying to spread the belief in Yahweh and then later Christ. Before anybody responds to that, just giving a notion out to the chat. Backstage, I've got Effigy, our lovely animated Effigy, the Emperor, back for more. We haven't seen him in a while. Glad you're here. Felix is hanging out back there. And of course, New Blood has made its way to the panel. He's reached out to me recently and is ready to come on and try our panels out. So if you'd like to see what the New Blood's like, go ahead and ask for Landy to the front with your Big Ten. All right. So any response to this, you're more than welcome to on the super chat.
I mean, my position is that it's obviously true. But
Couldn't
maybe
agree
that was
more.
given.
Clay?
Some answers.
I wanna-
some answers aren't deserved. If people want to say that there's no history in the Bible, I mean, you're just kind of.
Well, they did say very little.
I mean, you're just being goofy at that point. Like, at least you could admit that Jesus did exist. Like,
Yeah,
at that
probably.
point, you would have-
but
I mean, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, but what
Doc-
about
Doc
other
just-
figures
what are
like
we doing here?
Moses? What about Moses?
I suspect Moses didn't exist. Or if he did exist, he was probably like a local leader that his story got
there's
embellished.
inscriptions about the
Yeah,
guy.
no
you know?
evidence.
There's inscriptions in Egypt to this
Where?
day about
Where?
About Moses?
Duration.
That's not
It's
true.
literally me and Omar were discussing this about the oldest name, the oldest archaeological find of the name of Yahweh. Literally just last night, we
Yeah,
were
it's not
just
3,000
Sources
years old.
Omar?
It's the
and it
Dan
was literally
Teller-
referencing the
Moses
people
is not
wandering
Yahweh.
in the desert
the
after
Teldan Stele, I
Moses
think.
and the people left to wander the fucking desert. It literally is
The
about that
Teldan
very
Stele, I
exact
think, is the
thing.
oldest place where you'll see the God of Israel mentioned, and that's like 1,200 or 3,200 years old. I think.
Yeah, Yahweh came out of the desert. Yeah, into Canaan.
We were literally discussing this last night, and we looked it up and everything.
Well, you can literally look it up tonight.
Yeah, I looked it up. Since you
I
got
love
me.
you, Santa.
I mean, it's just very strange that Moses. It's a very like Egyptian name, and yet there doesn't seem to be any records of him in Egypt, which is very strange.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
except for that
news
one
to
I
me.
just
If
mentioned
there's
that you're
a
afraid to go look up.
okay, what's it?
Yeah, then you can look it up. You made the positive claim, Clay. So I look forward to hearing.
You're
this,
trying to
evidence of
prove
yours.
me wrong.
Oh,
no,
burden
no,
shift.
I just Googled
Burden
it.
shift more.
You
Burden
study
shift more.
history.
Go, oh,
I just
you're
Googled
telling
it.
me.
It doesn't show up anywhere.
Listen to the Prophet of Spike
way
here.
to
The
look
Prophet
this
of
up.
Spike compels you, Clay, to go look up the evidence,
It's the
so that
same
way you
thing.
don't stop looking like an ass.
Yeah, Spike. Yeah, go.
Go
fuck
Carter,
yourself.
buddy. Go Carter.
Now, was it
So can I
Moses
ask another,
threw off
just a last question?
yeah, sure. Go ahead, Spin.
So can we go back to the flood and
Sure.
Noah's Ark
Sure.
for
Yeah.
just a second?
There were about 10
literally,
floods.
probably not.
Which one?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
well, yeah. I mean, like, look, if the flood happened, how did the kangaroos get to Australia?
Well, and they were written about in in Mesopotamia because of the rivers, Tigris and the Euphrates, I believe it is, kept running over their banks. And
Was
then there are
that the
records of it in China because they have water there too. But they happen to.
Can I ask
slightly
my question, please?
Not over the whole earth.
Apparently
Yeah,
not.
Go ahead, Spin.
Can I ask my question? Thank you.
Yeah.
So you talked about ice as rocks.
Yep, ice is a kind of rock.
Okay.
Minerals.
So
specifically.
would you concede to say that those rocks melted that helped create the Great Flood?
If ice melts, it can cause flooding. Yeah.
So
I don't know
in
which
your
Great Flood you're
in
referring
your
to.
infamous wisdom, what caused the Great Flood?
I don't think there was a great flood.
Singular.
The flood as described in the Bible would require about 3.25 times the amount of water found in all of the oceans, aquifers, ponds, everything found on the surface water of the earth. Like
Is that what they taught you in school?
I did the calculations. This
It's
is going
not-
from the
you
Bible.
hate school? It's on
This
the-
is
I'm
going
asking
from the
because
Bible's
we
description of the flood.
Here's the
It
thing,
would be
we
about,
just admitted
it'd be
that
about what?
nobody knows how the earth was
It's
even
like
created.
7 to 8 cubits above
But
the
you're going to tell
tallest
me all of a
mountain.
sudden you know how much water's
Yeah,
on it.
baffling details
Well,
of bullshit.
Pretty
What's at the
easy
center
to
of the
tell how
earth
much
there?
water's
What's
on
on
the
the
earth.
other side of the moon?
Mesopotamia,
What's the furthest
curiously
star from the
enough,
Oh, these are questions you can't answer.
Mesopotamia.
You act
Well,
like
I could
you
answer
know
them, but I have to get a chance to
Poor
talk first.
thing.
See, I have
How
yielded and everything.
many,
So,
how
Hold
many
on,
liters
go
of water?
ahead.
from-
All right, Santa and Clay need a moment together.
Maybe.
All right, let's let them dance for a second. If
Haven't
anybody
called
else wants to
him
take a
fun and
restroom break, you got 5 minutes.
Yeah. How many liters of
Woo!
water are on the earth, sir?
oh, I didn't make that claim. You talked to him
What
about
was the
that.
claim you're trying to make?
I
then?
would, the claim that I'm making is there were multiple floods in roughly the same time period, not the same flood necessarily.
Oh,
I don't believe in a
That is-
universal flood.
40 days.
What's your evidence for a universal
period,
flood
40
other
days.
than a story in a book?
A time period of 40 days? Is that what you're saying? Is a time period? That
No, I'm
oh,
saying what
at once?
evidence do you have other than a
How
story
long?
in a book?
And how long?
Well, you
said
keep
it happened
changing the
in a
subject.
time period, all in the same general time period. What's the
You keep
length of time
changing the
that's right?
subject.
No, you made a claim. I'm asking you about your claim.
I made a claim that I don't believe that they were all at one time, and I've already listed
Okay.
the Tigris
What's the
and the
time period?
Euphrates is one area. The time period, I don't know, about 2900 BC, which is like 4,000 something years ago. They found the different serrated areas of the sands in the Tigris and Euphrates, and that's what is assumed, granted, is the origin of the flood stories because the rivers overran their banks.
So that
They
was
have
not
a
an
similar
answer.
story in China, roughly the
Cool
same
answer,
time.
but not the answer.
What's that?
Cool answer, but not the answer.
Oh, so the book is the only answer.
No, I'm asking you how long.
I told you, 2960 or so BC, which is roughly 5,000 some years ago.
One
Little bit
one
more.
day, one second.
I told you years, human years.
Years. Okay.
And the
2960.
sun has been stable around the
2960.
earth and
1 year,
around
sir.
the sun for a long time.
2960. So that one whole year in 2960.
2960 years.
2960 years.
Christ, if you-
2,960 years.
almost 3,000 years ago.
So 3,000 years.
Or, I'm sorry,
floods happened.
5,000 years ago, 3,000 years
So
before.
the floods happened for 3,000 years now? Is that what you're saying?
I said, you asked me for one, I gave you one. Bam.
One.
Where's
Okay,
yours?
so is it one flood or multiple floods?
I believe there are multiple floods. And the second
Okay,
one,
so
I
how-
gave you
how long?
China over roughly the same time frame, and you overtalked me.
What is roughly?
I don't know, within 100 years.
There we go. There's the fucking answer. Holy shit, bro. This is the answer I was looking for. Literally, we went just round and round in circles, and that's the only fucking answer I was looking for. Okay, 100 years. Okay, roughly 100 years.
They
Okay.
were 100 years apart. They were different
100
floods.
2 floods,
Okay.
3 floods, 4 floods, 5 floods.
I'm familiar with several.
Okay.
So, 3 to 10 if you like, but it's not just one. Interestingly enough, this area of Mesopotamia is also where Abram came from.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a lot of the culture in the Bible that's actually from that area. Now, Iraq.
Did he come before the flood or after the flood?
You tell me, you're the expert.
It would have been after, sir.
Understood.
Abraham? Yeah, that's after the flood.
Yeah. And that's how he would bring the story with him, Clay.
Okay, and
Okay.
like what your claim is, let's go right to the claim itself, okay, is that there were multiple floods.
Yeah.
That
And they all
essentially happened
a lot of
over
cultures had them.
about 100 years, okay? Multiple
No, I
as
was
in,
just saying the one in
you know
Mesopotamia
of
and
it.
China are roughly 100 years apart.
you
From my
know of it,
recollection.
you know of at least maybe 4 or 5, right? That you're
Sure.
saying, when it comes to specifically that flood, how did they occur? Was it like, a global flood, or was it regional? First off,
Well, I didn't sign up for an interview here or an interrogation.
did.
You asked me a question first. I'll ask you a question. Where's your evidence besides the book?
There's multiple evidences. I mean, you yourself are pointing out multiple floods, or at least zones of flood.
Zones of floods. But the story in the book is citing that the
We
whole
just
earth
simply
is
disagree on the
covered.
time scale. And the
Well, the one in the
amount.
book says the whole earth. The ones that I cited are in areas.
What does can we actually define what a flood is too?
Sure.
What is a
What
flood to you?
definition would you like?
I have a definition of flood. What is a flood to you? Just water covering the earth, or
Well,
water
when
the
I was
land?
in Arizona and the rivers overflowed, we call that flooding. And when I was in Tennessee and those dams and everything overflowed, we called that flooding.
If a tsunami happens,
People in my history have called
Is that
the flood. They were talking about the flood in the book.
okay. If a tsunami happens over a massive portion of land, is that a flood?
No, it's a tsunami.
It's still a flood, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just being pedantic.
It's still a flood, right? Okay, if a massive amount of wind and rain come through, basically just washing everything away, like, I don't know, a tornado with a thunderstorm, that would be a flood too, right?
A flood is just a condition that occurs
Extremely
after like a heavy
dynamic
period of
energy.
rain or like some sort of increased amount of
Yeah.
water.
So it
like,
doesn't
covering
necessarily
land. It's not.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be just like a whole like ocean of water lands on the.
Then why couldn't the birds find any land? There wasn't any dry land. I'm pretty sure the book said.
Yeah, I mean,
something.
ultimately, like if it's continually raining, where are they going to find land at?
I don't know. I guess that happened all contiguously in time. Otherwise,
I mean, it's the point of contention, right? Because clearly you don't understand what a flood really can be.
Why don't the Egyptians have a catastrophic flood myth?
Maybe the Egyptians didn't exist before the flood.
The pyramids are older than the flood. We've already established this.
Oh,
have we?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
in fact,
That
we
was
established
earlier on.
the same way that you do the same way that you do
We just
historicity.
discussed this, though.
Namely,
You just-
by tracking
you just
back what
radio dated.
Clay, no,
You just
don't
radio dated the
No,
pyramids.
you don't. You
This
don't. You
is
don't
radio
radio date
dating.
the pyramids. You figure out when the pyramids were built by looking at. We have like written records of like X pyramid was built in the 18th reign of this king, and then we
Yeah.
know from records X pharaoh reigned for 27 years, and then the next pharaoh reigned for 30, and you do the same thing that you think that is how all of history is done. So we know when the pyramids.
So you're a
pyramids were built,
historian. You've
because
done
we
all
know. Well, I know about Egypt. I was obsessed with
Yeah,
Egypt.
you know.
as a kid.
Yeah, you know. about Egypt. Yeah, you know about all the like the pyramid myths and stuff too.
You mean the pseudoscience?
The aliens, ancient aliens.
Oh yeah, that's pseudoscience stuff. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. It's obviously nonsense.
So
But the
essentially,
point
they're going to
is-
use the pyramids to tell you anything.
I have no idea what that has to do with anything. The point is that we have written records from.
Bro,
we have, like,
they
literal
have
written
been
records from
tricking
one of
you
the guys who built the pyramids.
motherfuckers for ages.
Okay,
about
Clay,
what
how do you know that you have
happened.
been tricked into believing your views? Clay, how do you
No,
know you
it's
have
just
been
one
tricked
giant
into
conspiracy
believing your
theory,
views?
right?
he didn't
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, look, if you want to be skeptical about everything, Clay, guess what? You have to be skeptical about the concept of skepticism itself, which means, guess what? You have a
I'm
self-hating
just
worldview,
skeptical
Clay.
of that.
So it's like, unless you have something that like breaks
So
that,
what
like
are you doing with that?
just universal skepticism. I'm so sorry, Clay, but you just have nonsense.
Clay, I'd like you to answer Santa's question, because I think you just took the long deflection route and took a sigh of relief thinking you got away with it. Where's your evidence of these things you claim other than the Bible?
Balderson, did you see the super?
Were you talking to me? Or
I was talking to you. Where's the evidence other than the story in the Bible that says the entire world was flooded? He's giving you stories of floods. Where evidence do you have of your claim? He asked you that, and I'm not sure you answered.
No, I did. I actually did.
Yeah, what
Could
was
you
it?
You repeat for the
say it again?
Yeah,
You
then
don't
repeat it. Just repeat it. It's fair.
Well, even Santa will admit that there are multiple stories of floods, right?
Floods
we
that
just
didn't
relying on
happen in the
stories?
same time period, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, same time period. He said it was the same time period.
100 years is not the same human time period.
Oh, so it's not the same.
Yeah,
time.
the global flood happened across a
Explain
period of
that.
40 days. So, like, if one
Yeah.
flood happened in year one and one flood happened in year 101, we can't claim that it's the same flood.
Let
That's
me ask you, what
preposterous.
caused those floods?
You're
Do you know?
avoiding the subject
Usually it's
again.
just
though.
river.
What-
Uh-oh.
This is what
You're-
I've been
No,
doing.
No, because
What
I
is your
have an
evidence
explanation for
other
that.
than the book?
Right?
Clay, can you at least
No,
deal with the
I did
refutation
answer it.
before you move on? Wait, no. Deal with the refutation
answer
before
it.
you move on to a different claim.
I did
There's a
answer
flood that happened in year one and
I
the flood that
did
happened in
answer
year
it.
101.
How
Are
many
those
times do I have to
floods?
answer it?
If the two
retard?
floods occurred
You just
more
want me
than
to call you
30
a
days
retard?
apart.
Can you give us a
No, I want
Jesus
you to
Christ
respond to the
pose?
argument.
I'll
No,
give
I
you
want
the
you to
bloody
respond to the
Christ.
argument, Clay. So,
I
give a
have a
response.
question,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I do mean this in a genuine way for Clay. So you have, if it's my understanding that the Ark would have landed somewhere in Turkey. Is that your view?
I'm not really sure. They really don't.
But somewhere in the Middle East.
Like I said, I don't know. They don't really have any like real evidence for where it would have landed.
They
Clay,
said Mount
Clay?
Sinai or something, didn't they?
Mount
Clay?
They
Meru.
named the mountain. didn't they?
Clay, last night, right when you left, Nunya Business sent a $10 super chat and said, "Clay, for the love of God, let Omar finish a sentence." Hold on, I gotta blow up. Or finish a single thought. Your questions might be answered before you ask it. If the man could finish a thought, Thanks.
We love you, Clay. Speaking of super chats, Fuzzy Logic, I love the name, says, how are there still living trees that are older than the flood? If it was above the tallest mountains, where'd the water go? How did humanity grow from 8 people to the Tower of Babel in about 120 years?
I think you're underestimating the ability of humans to procreate. I really have touched on this a few times. There were 1.6 billion people in 1900 on the planet. Now there are 8.3 billion people on the planet. Do the math. See how long it takes for people.
Yeah, after we master technology.
Wait a minute.
That math will hold.
So it multiplied by more in 120 years, and you're saying that
it's not me making the claim that was
Hold on. Dr. Blitz is answering the question. If you open your ears, just like the super chat from Balderson said. Go ahead, Dr.
I don't have ears to open.
The Earth was the human population was 1.6 billion in the year 1900 or whatever, and then the year 2026, the population's 8 billion. So it like 5x'd in 120 years. Are you telling me that 40 people built the Tower of Babel in this, like that it went from 8 to 40? Oh, he's muted.
Are you telling me that out of 300,000 years of human experience and knowledge and existence, that only within the past 150 to 200 years, all of a sudden now we get the answers?
Well, he's talking about exponential growth. Do you understand exponential growth?
I do, and I understand that 300,000 years of human existence, as is the evolutionary claim, that in 200 years, all of a sudden now we all are smarter and have all the answers.
Well, it's the same brain.
Numbers.
If you read the super chat. Oh, somebody's got echo. It's going from 8 people. Grow from 8 people to the Tower of Babel in about 120 years. So if you apply exponential growth to that very concept, which that's the number that Dr. Blitz was giving you, that it doesn't, the math ain't mathing. That's what they're saying.
So let me see.
How many
people
did it take to build
Why
the
are we
Tower
even
of Babel?
entertaining this? Even the Bible says there weren't just 2 people when Adam and Eve had their children.
It was above the tallest mountains. Where did the water go? How did humanity grow from? I mean, there's like 3 questions in there. Which one do you want me to answer?
The last one. That's what we're talking about.
The last one. So not the first 2. The first 2
we can
aren't.
talk about the first 2 if you want. But
the long deflection is about to kick in again.
No, what I'm saying is it's as wise as me asking you 300,000 years of human existence. Now, all of a sudden, 200 years, the past 200 years, we're so smart. We've got the answers. We're so much smarter.
It sounds like a deflection.
This is so non-responsive.
It's not about intelligence. It's about abilities to retain knowledge.
This is why I love you so much, Clay, because sometimes it's okay to just sometimes it's just okay to accept or even concede or grant, right? Even if you don't believe it to if you don't believe it to be true, it doesn't make a difference. But sometimes it's okay to just concede to the idea that the math ain't nothing.
But humility isn't really in his vocabulary either. So I don't expect that.
What are you asking me?
Oh, okay. I will simplify this. Shush. I will simplify this.
Yeah, let Dr. Bliss do it.
How many people does it take to build the Tower of Babel? A few hundred at least, right? So the question is how is the human population going from 8 people at the time after the flood is over to a few hundred people over the course of just 120 years?
People fuck like rabbits. What can I tell you?
Okay, so you're saying that they reproduced more quickly then than we did after the Industrial Revolution?
Bro, I don't think you understand what a perfect human really is.
They weren't perfect after the flood.
They pop out babies like rabbits.
Oh my god, bro! Look,
you don't even know your own
litters.
Look,
like effigy. We just fuck like rabbits. Effigy. Like what else is there to understand? We're just like
if you don't
fucking
listen,
so
you can't
much.
hear the answer. You remember that part? Remember that part? I could be wrong.
Go ahead, Clay. Go ahead, Clay.
You don't hear it, right? So Adam and Eve were perfect human beings, right? They had children in the story. Even if you don't believe it, this is what the story says. So those human beings would have been closer to perfection than we are now. Okay, so those human beings, Cain and Abel, and all the brothers and sisters that they had, right?
Yeah, the ones that went and married people who already existed.
Well, stop. Okay? Stop. Because don't be retarded because people do that, right? Let's be real. Let's be absolutely real. People look. Okay, the Queen of England. Let's be real, like the Queen.
I love you, Clay, so much.
We doing this?
Look, I don't know what part of the world you live in, but where I come from, people don't marry their cousins.
You think for one
I'm from Tennessee and we
happen
don't
to
do
be
that.
siblings, and they're not going to
I can't
fuck.
say that.
You ever seen the Blue Lagoon?
You would have had a better Clay. You would have had a better shot if you had backed it up and said, "Well, Adam and Eve weren't the only two, right? And there were other groups." Okay,
No, I'm
Already
and then
here.
and then
what I
it would have
believe.
been
Why would I
even
say it?
better. It would have been better if you said the flood was regional and therefore
But
the
that's not
groups
what I
were.
believe.
That's a good one.
It makes
Yeah.
a mingle.
That's not what I
You
believe.
could have
So why
gone
would I
that
say
route.
that? Then I would be lying to you, right?
What's your math flow?
Sarah's giving
flow?
a based
Can I lie
Catholic
to you?
answer, by the way.
I mean, you
Thank
really
you.
want me to lie?
That's why it's not Dr. Blitz.
No,
This is
Clay, we don't want you to lie, Clay.
So you want me to lie to you?
No, we don't want you to lie. But Clay, with your philosophy of humans reproducing like rabbits over that small amount of time, over a large amount of time, we'd have reached the Clay.
You want me to lie to you? Can I be wrong?
Can you listen to what I'm saying for 1 second with your math?
You're telling me to
No,
lie to you.
then I didn't say you want. I need you to lie. In fact, my first words out of my mouth was, "No, Clay, we don't need you to lie." Why are you still yelling over me?
You're actually being retarded right now. You're answering a question that I'm asking to someone else.
This is why
Oh,
it's
Can I
called
finish
the
my
Dr.
question?
Blitz.
Okay, Sarah, you want me
Yes.
to lie to you?
I don't want you to lie, but I also think that you should reasonably understand what you're saying is that people fuck like rabbits and therefore population, right? But we've already given you the general population growth exponentially. Dr. Blitz said times 5 if you went from the claims that you made. He said times 5. Okay, therefore apply that to the numbers of going from 8 to how many, and the math ain't mathing. And your response is simply people fuck like rabbits.
How long was an average lifespan in that time?
Way longer than it is now, if you believe the story, which would mean that they wouldn't need to, which would mean that they would reproduce slower, not faster.
No. The average lifespan.
Noah lived to be like 600 whatever.
Certain people lived to be a long life. Yes.
Noah was it was
doesn't
Noah,
mean
his wife.
everybody
It was Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives.
Did it
right?
say that everybody lived exponentially?
Who else was
long
everybody?
lifetimes?
There were only
No,
8 people.
You're making claims that you don't
Wait,
even
there were
know
only
anything
8 people. Who else is
about. You
everybody?
guys literally are making these claims
Were there
about
only
them,
8
saying
people or
these
not?
things happen,
And
it's not
and here's
true.
where Clay.
It's simply
Clay
just not
This is in your
true.
book.
Somebody broke him, man.
Bro, it did not say that everybody lived exponentially amounts of time.
I love it when the entire panel turns on. He gets so frustrated, but this is why we have
He gets digs his heels in.
Here,
Claims that aren't
we'll
true, and then
maneuver.
expect me to lie with them.
Oh, they're not true.
You need us to want you to lie,
I love you
so it
much,
can help
Clay.
your argument.
Okay, here's hold on. Here's what we do need. I have to add. I think we had. Hold on Cash App. I think we had 3 over there. No, two over on Cash App plus the 4 in the hole. You guys owe 4 more. You're up 6 out of 10 on the dono goal. We're gonna start a grift break if you don't start moving. Okay, you know the drill. You want the next hour, keep them moving. And listen, Clay's getting it nice and toasty right now. You don't want this one to stop. You got less than 10 minutes to get it in.
Train is being run, if you will.
Yes. A quick the Big Five says the age of the pyramids is supported by carbon dating organic material pressed between the stones while they were being built. Any thoughts to add in on that?
Well, yeah, it's obviously true, but Clay will reject this because he doesn't.
Clay is allergic to carbon dating and any form of dating.
Well, carbon dating.
Oh, Zinger.
Is extremely fallible and flawed.
So can I ask you something about that?
That it's going to
You got
be
space
somewhere
going.
between 5,000 and 50,000 years. I'm just simply not going to. I'm going to quote Tucker Carlson here. I just simply don't fucking believe
that's
you.
laudable.
Very good idea.
Can we all grant Chase his question? I think he had one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a couple, but I had one that I feel like is at least the least combative, so we can calm things down a
Okay.
bit. This is a genuine question about the flood for Clay. I started this and then some things came up. But let's say the Ark lands in the Middle East or anywhere. How do the kangaroos get from the Ark to Australia? Because we don't have their fossils anywhere else. And how do the penguins get to Antarctica? Because we don't have their fossils. So these are two very different, very far
How
apart
do the trees
places.
get to Hawaii?
Yeah, I'm
Trees
just
don't
asking,
swim.
I'm not even trying to like propose a real challenge. It's just a genuine question that if I were to take your view as true, I'm not sure why I wouldn't find kangaroos anywhere except Australia.
So I'm pretty sure your mom carried him on her back.
What the fuck, bro?
That was a good one.
That was
probably.
That's a great question. I was looking forward to the penguin response, and Clay's was like, "Fuck all y'all."
Uh-huh.
No, the reason why. No, in all seriousness, I can actually answer that question.
Okay.
Essentially, there's these little things called legs. Animals have them.
Yeah, they have to be swim across the ocean.
They swam 1,000 miles. Okay.
So yeah, the
And none of
kangaroos
them
were
died on the
listening
way?
to a lot of songs by Men at Work, and they just listened to that on their way down to the land down under.
Welcome to the land down under. All right. Fuzzy Logic brought in some clarity. He says the claim, and this is up here, what he was discussing here. The claim is not about the increase in population. It's about the diaspora in cultures and languages developing in maybe 3 generations. The Tower of Babel story is about disparate populations.
Yeah, that's why I really didn't entertain it, because they don't understand the story of Babel.
That's what you were thinking, Clay?
No, that's the entire point, is that you have to have enough people to have disparate
Yes,
cultures so
absolutely,
that they
quite
come
so.
together in a place.
You're too retarded to understand this because you don't read your fucking Bible. That's not my problem.
Okay, let's talk about the Bible, guys. Let's talk about the Bible. Hey, when Cain was kicked out of Eden and he said he feared wanderers, that people were going to hunt him, who
Like
was
I said,
hunting him?
You have a problem with the.
When
with
Cain was kicked out of Eden and he said he had a wife, where did his wife come from?
I don't
When
know. You
Cain
tell
builds
me.
a city, why did he build a city?
Why don't you tell me?
What people are going to occupy
Why don't you
that
tell
city?
us, Effigy, since
When
you're
he
so
said that people were afraid that people were gonna hurt them.
I'm so curious.
Yeah,
If it all started with Adam and Eve.
here. You got to know, bro.
I
Tell
still
me-
want to know the answer
tell
to the
me how it
kangaroos and the penguins.
Tell me exactly
but
how it happened.
That's just me.
And in fact,
Any of the
The reason
three
why
chances on the
the reason
table
why
right
Clay is
now.
burden shifting, by the way, is because he
how
doesn't know.
exactly did the Earth come to be?
How did
Do you want to do anyone any why wrong?
Okay, how did
Clay and burden shifting
Gravity
go
has always
together like a
existed.
ham and
How did
cheese
gravity
sandwich.
come to existence?
Gravity has existed for as long as the universe has.
Oh, so gravity always existed.
Yeah, well, for as long as the universe has. Whether the universe
Yeah,
has a beginning or not
As
is a
long
different
as, so
question.
what existed before gravity?
If there was anything that existed, gravity existed.
Oh, gravity always existed.
Well, unless there was a first moment.
Okay, so what existed before gravity? Nothing?
If
This is so
there
crazy.
is no first moment, then there is no before gravity.
My trump card is a ridiculous reductio.
Came from nothing. Gravity always existed, or it didn't. Which
Well,
one?
wait
is
a
it?
minute. That's obviously true. If gravity always
existed, or it didn't. Which
so if
one?
gravity
is it?
always existed, then it didn't come from anywhere, right? It's just always
Right.
existed. If it didn't always
Okay.
exist, then it came from wherever the universe.
So gravity is your god?
What?
Oh, God.
That was elite. That's what we were going. Okay.
You're the biggest problem.
That was a long way.
It always existed, right?
Yeah, things can always exist without being
It's
God.
always bringing you down.
What is the thing that always existed?
It could be gravity. It could be a quark field. It could be a Higgs boson field. It could be tons of
Electricity.
things.
What?
It could be all sorts of all of
But you
those
don't
things
know.
could have always existed if the universe.
But you
did.
don't know.
I don't.
How do you know?
I have
You
something called
don't know.
epistemic humility, meaning that I don't
You
claim
don't
absolute
know.
knowledge on
I
things.
don't
I'm
know.
like,
None of us know. You're gonna sit here.
Hold
and
on,
make
hold
somebody
on,
do it.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
I still get always
on.
goes to infinite regression. Every
Hold
single
on.
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on,
Except
hold
Clay. Clay
on,
knows.
Clay.
Say, I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
Clay,
Yes.
Dr. Blitz was responding to you, and I thought it was a pretty humble response, but you didn't hear it. Go
No, I
ahead.
heard it.
Did you forget Spen's
What'd I say?
speech, Clay?
I heard it.
Tell me what
You
he
don't
said.
want that?
Hold on, Joe. Tell me what he said, Clay.
He said it could be.
No, I said I have epistemic humility, meaning that I recognize that there are things that I cannot know for certain.
Mm-hmm. All right, Socrates.
I'm sorry that I know philosophy.
God damn.
Bro's just like, bro's like, haha, you're a loser because you care about the basis of Western civilization. Like,
Dr. Blitz, did you know that you don't know everything for certain? Got him. Fucking got him.
Bro's over here saying, nice job, Socrates, when literally Socrates and Plato are the entire basis for his theological position.
You did come up here.
You believe in fallibilism? Shit, yeah, you don't know anything, huh?
All right, logistics here, folks. Inquisitive says Adam and Eve must have been lactose intolerant. Shout out to you. And the Tubic Hair, I like your name, says Clay is complaining about claims.
Yes.
No way. All right, we got 3 minutes. They need to get what did I say? 4 more in the door. And tell them what the fuck they need to do, and they better do it fast before we move into big mode.
You better get some money in, because I want to talk about how Clay's the problem with Clay's fucking arguments is, well, in the words of Bruce Lee, bricks don't hit back.
Ooh.
I just watched that today.
4 more $10 donos. That's all you need. 4 more $10 donos. Go, Clay.
I know these people are mad just because I don't believe them. It's really that simple. So they're going to, instead of talking about the actual subject matter, which is what the doc brought up, which is the world wasn't created, all of a sudden now they've got to attack my belief, right? Instead of actually talking about the whole concept of, like, that's the premise now. Okay, so then why didn't we just have a throwdown Clay? Throwdown Thursday, right? And then, we could do that. But we didn't. I came up here, right? And I know we're in the gauntlet, but because we're in the gauntlet, that's why you need to throw some fucking donos down, because you ain't going to get this entertainment anymore if you don't do that. I appreciate you, Uncle Tom. Excuse me, Tom Carpenter.
I have to concur with Clay here. We cannot victimize him more if you guys don't donate. I mean, look, I, as the prophet of Spike right here, praise be Spike, by the way, am imploring you. It is your religious duty to pay the tithe and donate to Sarah's channel, or else Spike will be cutting up all your clothing, and you don't want that. You don't want to become like this depressed emo teen, okay? You don't want to do that, okay? That leads to bad places. So donate, or your clothes are done for.
Donate. You got 10 amazing panelists, and of course, Felix is still backstage. All you got to do is send 4 more $10 donos, and I'll shut up. Effigy, tell them.
Look, I got on here late, and all I wanted to do was come on here and yell at Spin and make him cry for asking how a fucking rock was made. But now I have to have somewhere else to point this aggression, and all there is Clay. So got to keep it going so I can get it all out and yell at more people. So give those donos in.
Give them. Chase, you were pretty good last time. I want to see you do it again.
I will say that as much as people enjoy everybody kind of dunking on Clay, I will try to continue to be nice to him if everybody donates.
Wow. There's a sparkle of hope there. Joe, go.
Wow. I was going to say, man, the topic was, is there a God? And clearly he's not winning because all of these heathens are up here threatening you to give them your money. There are only 2 good guys up here. It was the last guy and me. I'm going to tell you, you guys are great. And I got all the confidence in the world in you guys. You've been spectacular tonight. Love you guys.
No, don't give them too much hope. They're currently on an L circuit. Go ahead, Santa.
Clay, I just want you to know the chat's pulling for you to say something meaningful, and the rest of it are looking for you to say something cogent. But none of us get to see this if the donations don't come in. So please, people, let's become part of the Clay intervention. Thank you.
The only thing you said right there that made any sense is donate.
Donate some freaking money. Dr. Blitz, it doesn't look like you're going anywhere anytime soon. You're having a good old time. What say you?
Look, so there's 2 options here. Either you donate and you get to continue to see the rhetorical backshots that Clay takes, or I go eat dinner. Like, those are the 2 options. Honestly, at this point, I'm fine with either. But you guys probably have a preference, so you know what to do.
You know what to do, said him. All right, Ben. Ben's in the dark now. He's riding off battery fumes.
I
No
actually
such
am in
thing.
the dark because Christy's over making me the obligatory hot cocoa, and we were getting some pudding and gonna sit back and enjoy this thrubbing that we're watching. And what the hell? Everybody else isn't enjoying it. There's the problem that you're all also getting snacks at the exact same time. You didn't take your phone with you when you went to make the snacks.
I love you all so much. I'll give you 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. It's either $40 in the next 2 minutes, or I move into one big fat red dono, and you only have 15 minutes to hit that, because then I turn into the angry tomato if you fail the goal. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes of grace. Okay. I think I've been pretty fucking graceful tonight. All right. Hit it, or else I move into the 15-minute red dono mode. All right. Back to you, gentlemen.
Well, if I may first, in the
Mhm.
chat, Clay has inspired a new boy band called Clay Nation 5.
I see that. Yeah.
Poor Clay. Poor
No,
Clay.
you know, and just to let you guys know, I don't take it personally. We have fun here on the
Yes, he
Gauntlet.
does.
And this is why you have to fucking donate, because I am not done defending my position, even though
Good.
it's not my
Wait, you started?
down.
Wait, you started defending your position?
Yeah, wow.
Uncle Guns, I'm German. When you're German, all time is good for pudding, and also cocoa.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you said the word time. Number one, you are on a timer in the chat to hit that final dono goal or else. But number two, we talked about the concept of time earlier, Dr. Blitz. Somebody
Yes.
raised that question. I would love to chime in on that one.
Yes.
Oh, the timeless God thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Well, yes.
you have something to say?
I'm just curious about Dr. Blitz. What do you think about time? Has it always existed? Do you think when the universe popped up, time was always a part?
So
I mean, it has
it's really hard to use time words to describe time's existence. Like, what does it mean for time to have always existed? That would kind of mean that there's like a time that time exists in. I think what's probably the case, what we could probably establish is that there was either a first moment of time or there's not. If there's not a first moment of time and time exists now, then every moment has a prior moment. And if there is a first moment of time, what that just means is that there is no such thing as before that first moment. Now, there can still be some state of affairs that is in some sense geometrically related to that first moment, and perhaps gives rise to that first moment, but not a temporal, not in a causal sense.
So
now, go ahead.
This seems a little off, but if what do you think about could you find a way to travel or communicate? Let's say communicate something faster than the speed of light.
I don't think so.
I think it's possible, even if those time's flexible. There's no wormhole we could bend and send something through. Skirting time in the fashion that we know it.
I suspect not.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I mean, also, like, if you're talking about like faster than light travel in that kind of sci-fi way, right? You're actually getting around the speed of light limit, right? You're not actually like surpassing.
I would agree. Getting around it would be better.
I mean, do we consider time to exist the way that in which we measure it, right?
No.
Well, that's the misunderstanding I pointed to earlier. Like,
obviously not in hours, right? But I mean, we look
time
at
is as real as
time.
space.
But we look at time as a measurement. But whereas if you kind of, I think if you expand out further than that, time can be perceptive too, right?
I would say that time is as real as space is. Now, we can measure space and we get lengths, we get volumes, we get areas and so on. Similarly, we can measure time, but those measurements are not the same thing as the thing itself. So if you think that space exists in the sense that like there exists locations, then I think it's just as reasonable to say that there exists moments.
I was actually just recently doing some research on an idea in fundamental physics called causal set theory.
Hell yeah.
And there's some really interesting notions of time there, wherein time can emerge from something called causality, wherein you have an ordering of events, and that order gives rise to what we would call time. So as you're tracking event A causing event B, you can now also say that event A is before event B, and
Right.
some notion of time would arise from causally ordered events.
That's interesting because that's related to a question I was just about to ask Dr. Blitz. I was going to ask if you were familiar with the recent cold atom experiment where they demonstrated entropy and it's linked to the arrow of time.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's interesting. The paper doesn't do as much as I would like it to do, but yeah, I mean, what they do show is that essentially an internal clock is directly correlated with the calculated entropy of the system, and that's neat. I mean, plausibly the arrow of time is connected with entropy, but I'm not talking about the arrow of time, which would be emergent in this regard. I'm talking about time, the temporal dimension itself. Now,
Okay.
What Chase was saying is causal set theory. The idea is that space-time itself is emergent from the relations between events and and the failure of there being relations between events. If I'm correct, Chase, you would say that if there is a causal relation between events, then they are temporally ordered. If there's not a causal relation between events, then they are spatially ordered.
Yes, and that follows the convention of light-like and time and
Right.
space-like and time-like separation.
And so it could be the case that space-time is indeed emergent, in which case space and time wouldn't be fundamental, but they would still exist in the same way that like wetness exists. Wetness is not fundamental. It's a property of what happens when you have a bunch of water molecules together, but it's a good property that still is a real thing.
I dig it. The big crunch is off the table.
But hang on, this goes to like the argument earlier, and I think like theists need to like listen to what they're saying, because whenever you sit here and posit,
because if you're gonna attack me, bro, I just don't.
whenever you posit a timeless God, you're making a nonsensical argument, right? Because
I'm gonna
the reason
attack-
we're calling it space
I'm gonna
time
attack the
is that
chat.
they exist
I've set a
inseparably.
timer. One big fat red dono goal, and I'm giving a lot of fucking grace right now. I have been up all day. I have had a total of 4 1-hour naps in the last 2 days. So I highly recommend you not turn me into an angry fucking tomato, because I'm enjoying this conversation way too much, and it is way too meaningful to me to let it drop just because y'all can't meet your demands, okay? Or my demands. So hit that big fat red dono and go from there. Effigy to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help people understand what they're talking about when they mean
Oh,
space
help
time,
me out,
right?
bro.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you, Clay, or about you. I'm talking about an argument that has reoccurred over last night and tonight.
I'm someone who believes. Right?
I don't care. Let me finish my thought.
Uh-huh.
The idea that space-time is one thing, when people say that you can exist outside of time, the entire idea of existence in space-time, if you think of like matter as basically energy at different vibrations, you can't have vibration without time. You can't have a change state without time. So when you separate time from space, from matter, you're making a nonsensical argument, because how can something exist without time? So
you disagree
it's a
with
nonsensical
the doctor?
argument.
So you disagree with the doctor, what he just said?
When did I say that something could exist without time?
Can you guys fight later? I had another question for the physicist.
No, I was actually interested in that argument that he just
I
presented.
understand.
Can I actually talk about the subject matter, like what he just?
You have been. You know, as Effigy said, it wasn't
Can I have
about
that
you.
conversation?
It wasn't about you.
Can I?
So, doctor.
Can I absolutely
there's
not,
an
bro.
interesting-
Okay, so what I'm going to say is that
with the Western school and the
possibility
Asian school,
different
are you
moments or-
familiar
when they
that
were
the
talking
Taoist
Are you
cosmology
sure?
is
Wait.
identical?
All right. Listen,
Now kiss.
put the rulers away. My dick's bigger than all y'all's. All right, let's unfuck the situation. Clay, you've had a lot of talking time. I'm going to hand it back to Santa.
I haven't had a lot of talking time. I've had a lot of defense time.
That's enough for me. Go ahead,
Well, here's
Santa.
the thing. I had a question about the doctor's.
Hold the thought.
Please
Hold
pay
the thought.
attention to the host.
By the way, Clay,
Christianity? Is that my position up here? Did I just come up here to
Clay,
defend my
shut up.
Christianity?
Clay,
Is that what I'm
shut
here
up.
for?
Shut up.
I joked you,
I
bro.
mean, I don't understand. Like, I wanted to
Shut
be
up.
able to talk.
No,
about
shut up.
this.
Shut up. Shut up.
Clay.
God damn it.
Right here.
Please shut the
Can
fuck
I
up.
do that?
Clay.
Oh
If
my
I
God.
ask the question and Santa butts in,
Clay.
and like, no, fuck you. I want to talk.
Clay,
about it.
shut the fuck up.
Hey.
I don't understand it. Am I here to defend my position, or am I what I need to do with?
Well, you know when the host is talking, you know the rules better than any of us.
4 1-hour naps in 48 hours, Clay. Tonight's not the night to talk over me. Okay. Santa to you.
All right, well, then I'm the fuck out.
Deuces,
Okay.
Felix, you're back up. Go ahead, Santa.
And yeah, and this is a serious question. I just find it interesting, and I'm ignorant of below expertise in both the Western Academy's physics and the Asian. I'm familiar some with both, but I find, for example, the Wuji diagram, non-differentiation, call it Big Bang, and then beyond the Big Bang, there was differentiation as things cooled off, rather. And then as things continue to interact, those interactions brought other things into being. That's along the line of the virtual particles, non-virtual particles. But again, whatever small slice of time, quote unquote, is after that, do you see that there are other cosmologies that are parallel in the Western and Asian academies that you might consider worth entertaining to understand both better?
Look, my view is that there are a lot of cultures in the world and a lot of stories about how the world got here. I think that it's interesting to think about which cultures got which parts right. I don't think it's meaningful because they weren't coming to
Clay calling you out, chat, after he went straight out here. I don't know what you're gonna do about that, chat, but Clay calling you out.
The point is that they weren't these ancient people who were coming to these conclusions weren't doing so in a principled way. They weren't coming to these conclusions in a way that's reliable. So while it's interesting to speculate about why did they think this, blah blah blah, it's a fairly meaningless thought exercise to think about. Did they get it right because they knew something? Of course not. They weren't coming to this via some sort of principled means of discovering the truth about the world. They were using story building effectively.
With most cultures, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. But with the Chinese, I would like to discuss that with you at some time, and I'll bring a little bit more preparation to it. I value your opinion, though. I think that 99 out of 100 times that's going to be reliable. Chase,
I got a question for you, Dr. Blitz. Can we make any assumptions as to how common the Big Bang is?
Who knows? Maybe it only happened one time. Maybe it's happened an infinite number of times. I don't know. Depends.
Right. I'm wondering from what we know. I'm wondering. Let's say
aliens.
We can't even say yes, probably is. We can't even say there hasn't been more, because is it a possibility that there's been some within our universe that's going to destroy our universe or whatever, just not moving fast enough for whatever reason we haven't discovered? And there are many Big Bangs that still have occurred. Is that a feasibility?
I mean, so what won't happen is there won't be another Big Bang in our universe, because a Big Bang is an expansion of a universe. So that's like its own thing. You can't have a Big Bang is not just an explosion.
Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. Let me interrupt a little bit, because this was based off of something I had read about M theory, membrane theory. Is he still here?
Yeah.
I heard that a possibility that somebody was thinking was that membranes can get so close that when they collide, somebody believed that there could be a possibility of a new Big Bang. So I assumed it must. Excuse me?
That's Steinhardt and Turok.
Thank you. So I assumed it had to occur sometime, and it would occur, more than once. Any way to detect it? Would it affect our, another Big Bang? Would it affect what we know is life?
So
Dr. Blitz, can you steel man my argument for God?
Shut up.
Oh, great.
There's no way this guy's not a comedian, right? Come on. It's just peak timing.
So one thing that is important.
Go ahead, Chase.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, one thing that's
I'm
important
an
to
MPG master level troll.
Sorry, Chase. Somebody just commented on the first video saying oh no, not Felix. He's been making bad arguments all over the place lately.
Yeah, bad arguments, but they don't say why I made a bad argument. They don't say a reason. They don't give a reason.
Well, let's start with immaterial. That
Okay, Sarah. Do you give me the best evidence that the material concrete world exists?
Give
The
me
best
evidence that it
evidence.
doesn't.
So yeah.
No,
so
no,
this is
no,
Spike-
no.
Wait, hold on. This is Spike right
Is
here.
that your
Spike has
answer?
So graciously manifested himself in the plastic and metally flesh for us right here, and he was also immaterial at some point. So really, he's both immaterial and material at the same time.
The
And
hypostatic
exists right
union,
here.
if you will.
But that's
Exactly.
circular.
Thank you.
But that's circular.
How's that circular? Hold on. Yeah, give me the.
You're saying this material thing is material and this exists because it's material.
No, I'm saying that it has the properties that correspond with like materials. So there's like this like metalness right here, plasticness. I mean,
Metalness
these all
is not a
correspond to things
material
that like
property.
physically exist. And look, you can see it. You can see it right here. Look, I'm not the only one with access to Spike here. You too can get access to Spike at your local Office Depot, Target, whatever you find.
I can see it from here. Doesn't that make it
Exactly.
material?
Properties are not material. Properties
and
of
Spike,
material
Spike
things are not
manifests himself
material.
Window into another
several
universe.
places. Spike manifests himself in several places. I mean, look there. Santa also has a aberration of Spike right there. So obviously,
Magic! Ooh, spooky magic at a distance.
Mine identifies as Spike. Okay.
There you
So
go.
we-
There you go.
The particle entanglement.
Yeah, like, I'm not the only one with access to like a Spike and being able to like feel like what a pair of scissors is. Other people also have access to this too, and because of that, we have a pretty good idea that things that materially exist, save for
Okay.
like cases where hard solipsism might be.
Can I steel man your argument? Can I steel man
Absolutely
it?
not. I'm moving back over to Chase.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask.
Drink every time
somebody
you
in
hear
somebody in my
Steel Man.
Discord server just dropped the dankest meme. So, look, Spike is scissors. Felix, your god is from a Bible made of paper. I think we know which one wins.
No, no,
Actually,
I
wait,
can show you
actually,
that
wait,
God, the
wait.
God of the Bible is true. I can show you the God of the Bible
I
is
need a-
true.
And better watch out. Spin's going to show back up with a rock.
I can show you the God of the
papers.
Bible is true.
All right,
I
back
can
to
show
you. Hold on, Felix. Back to Chase. I was handing the floor to him, and then I rudely interrupted him with immaterial things. Go ahead, Chase. Bring us back around.
It's okay. So the main thing that I was going to say is there are definitely speculative string inspired cosmologies where if our universe is what we would call a three-dimensional brain in a higher dimensional bulk, that we could collide with another brain
Right.
and produce another hot Big Bang event. It's important to remember, as much as this pains me to say, we don't have any physical evidence for brains.
Get wrecked, nerd. No brains
As much as it's
found,
painful.
especially in what's his face.
String theory and M theory
Go
are
ahead.
speculative. They are currently done in the realm of mathematics without experimental evidence. So it is important when we mention, like, could another Big Bang happen via two brains colliding? We are granting that brains do indeed exist, which is not currently
Right.
known.
Right.
Now, there's also some notions in what they call cyclic or ekpyrotic cosmology, where the brains
Right.
separate, the universe cools, gravity forms galaxies, the brains slowly move together, collision, hot Big Bang.
Right.
But again, all of these, while you can say they could happen, do depend on extra dimensions, which are unproven. 2 brains and 5 brains. For M theory, they would require a lot of things that we don't currently have evidence for, like we do for just the regular Big Bang that we have observed. As much as that
Right.
pains me
Okay.
to say.
All right.
Did you just admit that string theory and M theory are not empirical?
Yeah, I try to take pride in being one of the more
Destroyed.
honest string theorists about this stuff.
Destroyed.
Okay, Sarah, have your answer, Sarah.
Okay.
Felix.
String
I
theory
was
has been
talking
cut.
to you.
Name one thing that is not an experience, an immaterial experience in consciousness. One
We
thing.
don't understand what material is yet. We didn't agree on that. We thought it meant
Yeah.
stuff that
Material
you
is
could
something
see.
that is space,
My
thought the
time,
experience of
material
your mom
didn't
last
exist.
night definitely
Extension.
wasn't immaterial.
Oh,
it could be
shit.
visible.
Say that again.
It was too long.
So
It was
can you name one thing, Sarah?
Hold on. What did you? I missed what Blitz said.
Blitz,
I was just
He went
making
with
your mom joke.
a
That's all.
scientist yo mama joke. And so
You let a-
but it was funny. And then also just that the scientist guy busted out the yo mama joke that it all was funny.
Okay.
I was laughing at the joke.
You're not gonna get her.
Dr. Blitz, does the brain causes consciousness or consciousness causes the brain?
You know, if
Felix,
you just
I don't know about you. My brain causes consciousness. I'm not sure about yours.
And where and exactly where is that located? That
The joke went
statement
over
that you
his
just
head.
said.
I know. Of course it went over his head.
That was vicious.
Your brain is located in consciousness.
Look, somebody clips that. That was awesome.
It's located in consciousness.
My brain is located in consciousness. Tell me where it's
Of course. Everything.
I think
is.
he's trying to
Name one
say
thing that it's
thoughts.
not.
He's saying brain. I think he means thoughts are located
Name one
elsewhere,
thing that
as
is not
opposed to having
located in
physical
consciousness.
location, giving him the best reading that I can.
It's like
Name
the
one thing
Portuguese
that is not
version
an
of the
experience in
dude.
consciousness. Name one that
Name
is
one
not an
experience.
experience in consciousness.
Name one experience. What? Name one. What? That's experiencing consciousness.
Even your brain is an experience in consciousness.
huh?
I have a question for you, Felix. If there's a star that formed, let's say, 6 billion years ago before the Earth even formed, that would have obviously predated any notions we have of consciousness. So would that be an example for you of a material thing happening that is independent of consciousness?
I'm so interested in this.
Say that
answer.
again. Say that again.
Oh.
I didn't get that.
So let's say we have a star that was formed 6 billion years ago, before the Earth, before any life that we know
Okay,
of.
okay. Now you are in consciousness experiencing that statement. Do you realize that?
For the several billion years before I came along to help this consciousness thing along, it seems like the star would have existed despite there being no consciousness to
Yes,
experience
but
it.
you cannot make that statement without consciousness right now. It's impossible.
It's still a dodge,
That's
isn't it?
correct.
So what's your point?
My
4
point is
billion
that there would
years
be an
for 6 billion.
material thing happening without consciousness.
Without consciousness, how do you know it's without consciousness if you are making a statement with consciousness right now?
Okay,
Did
so I guess
consciousness exist 6 billion years ago? How about that? Did consciousness exist 6 billion years ago?
Okay, is that statement in consciousness right now? Your statement about 6 billion years ago there was no consciousness?
I asked,
yes,
was it?
and material things happened.
Yes, and that is in consciousness.
But they
You
happened
cannot
before
state it
consciousness.
without consciousness. You cannot state that without consciousness.
It's not about my statement of it, it's about did it actually happen. So for example, my parents went on a date before I was born. That happened even though I didn't have a consciousness or a conscious statement about it. That still happened. The star
Okay.
would have formed before any of us had consciousness.
When did reality started for you?
About 30 years ago.
When consciousness appeared, right?
For me,
You said-
I was probably
Yes,
like
for you, for you.
Uh,
When consciousness appeared, reality appeared. What
If we
about
could slowly
before
point
that?
this ship
Where
toward a
was
point.
reality before that?
Before that was everybody who's older than me just chilling.
No. For you, where was reality for you?
Oh, I don't think there was one.
There was no reality. Exactly. Why not?
Because I
I did
wasn't.
not Tinder. Oh, hi, Mark.
Because there was no consciousness, there was no reality. That's why.
But there were people
Okay.
before I was born.
No, that's a story in consciousness you're making up.
But
You
doesn't
explain for
the-
him. What about everybody
doesn't-
else?
What?
But doesn't
The
the
fuck?
tree still exist even though I don't acknowledge, or even though I'm not there to acknowledge it? So
No,
even
you are
without
acknowledging right now.
I
You are
swear to God, if we
acknowledging
end up in
right now.
solipsism again,
That's a
I'm gonna.
contradiction.
All roads lead to hard solipsism.
Look, he's trying to get to analytic idealism, but he's not smart enough to know that that's what he's doing.
Yes, but you cannot name one thing that is out of consciousness. Not one thing you can name that is out of experiencing consciousness. Name
Well,
one.
if I was creating this reality with my consciousness, I would have probably done a different job with you.
I'm not saying you're creating reality. I'm saying reality is an experience in consciousness.
tonight's a roast night.
An
Holy shit.
immaterial experience in consciousness.
Does that mean that it would not exist when no one is
That's
around
obvious.
to experience it? Does that mean that reality does exist? Is there's no one around to experience it?
And that's obvious that everything happens.
You're
in
just gonna
consciousness.
ignore that shit.
But the concrete material world, there is zero evidence for it.
Because we don't have the
Zero.
graphic processors to render
Even
reality
Dr.
unless we're
Blitz
looking
doesn't
at
know
it.
how to answer that. Dr. Blitz, give me the best evidence that the concrete material world exists.
Yeah, I have a hand. If the concrete
Okay,
material world
and
didn't
what
exist,
that
I
proves.
wouldn't have a hand. Therefore,
Where is that hand
notice
located?
the concrete material world exists.
Where is that hand
I
located?
could slap you,
Right
I'd
here.
show you.
Your wrist bone
No, it's
connected
in your
to-
consciousness. It's in your
Oh.
consciousness.
Well, no. See. Look, here's the counter argument. If everything was merely in my consciousness, I wouldn't have a hand. Yet I do have a hand. Therefore, not everything is in my consciousness.
Yeah, and can you experience that hand
Net
without
Morian shifted,
consciousness?
bitch.
Can you experience that hand without consciousness?
I'm not talking about experiencing a hand, my guy. I'm talking about having a hand.
There is nothing outside of consciousness. It's impossible. There
He
is
didn't even catch the
nothing
Morian
outside.
shift. They never catch the
You-
Morian shift.
Yeah.
Are you saying material reality exists apart from consciousness?
Yeah, my hand is here. If my hand
Yeah.
is here, material reality exists. Therefore, material reality exists.
Yeah, but that's circular. That's
not
Have you ever
completely
felt a
Your
different.
argument is circular.
That's not his
And your argument is in consciousness. And your argument is in experiencing consciousness. So it's self-defeating.
Prove that my hand doesn't exist.
I'm not saying your hand doesn't exist. I'm saying it's an experience. Your hand is an immaterial experience in consciousness.
Oh, prove it.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Prove it. Prove that it's an immaterial thing.
I cannot
Proves
get out
anybody.
of my consciousness to do that. It's impossible.
Oh, it's impossible to prove that it's immaterial. Cool. I'm glad that we agree that it's material.
No, that's an equivocation fallacy. That's an equivocation fallacy. I'm saying your hand exists as an immaterial experience in consciousness.
Cool claim. Prove it.
Okay, prove that you can do it without
Don't burden
consciousness
shit.
that your hand
Prove the
exists.
claim.
So
I'm saying
I have a,
that everything you experience in consciousness. It's impossible otherwise.
Yeah, prove
When
it.
you say this hand is real,
Uh-huh.
you're using consciousness to experience that statement.
That
and
doesn't
that
make the hand not
experience.
material.
Okay,
It
wait.
is
Like, so
immaterial.
you're not certain we
Your
exist,
hand
right?
is immaterial because your hand is just an immaterial experience in consciousness. You cannot get out of consciousness
Stop
to
repeating
experience
yourself.
anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's a
Impossible.
look. Here's a logical syllogism for how we know the material world exists. If there is a sound argument for the logical or for the material world existing, then the material world exists. There exists a sound argument for the material world existing, hence the material world exists.
Okay, that's
Those modus
circular.
ponens, my guy.
Go crush the sound argument.
Plus, your argument is made in consciousness.
Can you refute the argument?
Your argument is made in consciousness. It's
Can you
self-refuting.
refute the argument? Which premise do you reject?
It's self-refuting.
So,
Okay.
so by
There's
that
no-
standard, all arguments, literal all arguments, are self-refuting.
You know what objectivity is? You know what objectivity is?
You know what
An
modus
immaterial
ponens is?
experience. Objectivity is an immaterial experience in
know what modus
consciousness.
ponens is?
It's all
Like-
there is.
Do you?
okay, I want
You
to
know what
give
an
you a
argument
chance to not just have to continue like the repeating. So,
Why do you think
how
they
you-
are all silent? Why do you think that everybody's so silent?
They're
Because it's
Because you're
argument.
not answering the question. I want to ask you again, does a 6 billion-year-old rock exist? I want to ask you again, but I know your answer. You can't ask me that question, Joe, without consciousness. It doesn't answer my fucking question. That's why I'm silent, because you just dancing and I can't get anything. I can't get anywhere.
Speaking of not getting anywhere, the panel's not going to get any fucking where in the next 5 minutes if we don't receive one big red donut. I even gave you extra time. Like I said, I was feeling extra graceful tonight. So, Ant, or wait, is that Ant? Yeah, Ant.
Ant, you're different.
That's not me.
I
That's
had to
Eris
look.
Esoteric.
I had to look. They got 5 minutes, or else, and we're in hit it or quit it mode. So there's no more grace after this. Tell them what to do, Ant.
We're doomed, I guess. But you can save us all. But on the way out, can I interest you in becoming a pope for Eris Esoteric as a member of the Paratheo and a mystichood of Eris Esoteric? I'm totally non-committal.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Send $100 so we can dive into that fucking shit show. All right, Bones, tell them what the fuck they need to do. This is
Felix,
so disappointing.
Felix has just proven that all argumentation is self-defeating, which, I mean, I guess we just can't prove anything at this point, which means we can't prove whether this donut goal will be reached unless you, faithful viewer, donate. Donate right now, or else we will never know if any arguments can ever be not self-defeating.
Well done. Please. Effigy, save us.
Are you enjoying the clown show? Are you not entertained? Look, there's only one thing you ever tell of solipsists. It's to go argue with their fucking selves. If you want to see this shit spiral down even deeper into the toilet bowl of insanity, you got to send in that big $100. God help us all.
God help us all. At this point, I think there should be a creator just to save us. All right. Chase, tell them what the fuck they need to do.
Money's not even real. It's all just in your consciousness. So you might as well donate.
No.
So don't be stingy.
Yeah, how can you be stingy if all things that exist are just
I'm not
in
saying
your
it's not
consciousness?
real, dude.
Not
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying it's real, but it's immaterial.
Tell them they need to immaterially send one big fat red donut, Felix. Tell them.
Do it. Send it right now for the sake of immateriality of the material.
There you go. He
What?
finally understood the assignment this time. I'll take it. Joe, tell them what the fuck they need to do.
I would love to tell them to send a donation right now. Normally I would, but however, I've been talked out of it. I don't believe they're real anymore. Nothing exists material. I can see them, therefore they cannot be real. If you do, it must be cryptocurrency. Perhaps that exists in this another world of which I now believe in.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Santa.
I got lost somewhere about material or something that he said. So let's get back to hearing him, and then let's prove to Joe that real money exists outside of crypto.
Prove it to me, damn it.
Do it. This is a scientific endeavor. We need more evidence.
We need more evidence. Can they
I have
prove
something
it?
here.
Hold on, Felix. Respect the grift, sir. Go ahead, Dr. Blitz.
Premise one: if you're a good person, you will donate. If you are a good person, you will donate. You know what to do.
They know what to do. Mr. Balderson, quickly. You're muted. You
No, he's
fucked
just
up.
a material. Rookie move. Clay rage quits, then calls you guys out in the chat, and then at the very end of this sends in a $4.99 chat. Not even enough to go toward the dono, just rubbing salt in the wound. Are you guys gonna let him do that to you?
Fuck no. And I will say one last time, I am certainly a fucking material girl living in a fucking material world. So send me that fucking green material. All right. It looks way better in my back pocket than it does in yours. Send it. You got 30 fucking seconds. Let's go. I want to finish.
I have a question for Dr. Blitz. Dr. Blitz, assuming that the material world exists, is the voice Material or immaterial? The voice, not the sound. The voice.
The voice is the sound.
No, the voice is not the sound.
What is the voice then?
Is a barking dog a sound or a voice?
It's a kind of a voice is a kind of sound.
It's
barking dog is
it's a
different kind
sound
of-
or a voice.
Actually, a barking dog is a kind of dog. A bark is a kind of sound.
Okay, do dogs have voices
Yeah, in a sense.
like humans?
No, they don't have human voices. They have dog voices.
Okay, human voice is what I mean.
Do you think that
Is
this
a
is like
human
an
voice-
important line of inquiry?
Is a human voice physical? Or the sound is physical and the human voice is immaterial?
The
And
human voice is
personal.
a kind of sound.
And
It's the
intimate and conventional.
sound of silence.
If only that's what I was hearing right now.
Like sound
There's a
exists
voice
insofar as
We're-
it's traveling
vibration
through
of the air.
medium, so,
We
I
are
mean,
going to
Yeah,
now
but the sound is
hear.
the physical part.
Hold on, shut up. We are now
wait, physical
officially
things exist.
going to hear the sound of silence because none of y'all fucking came through. I'm so fucking disappointed. Chat, you are taking nothing but fat fucking L's all night. L's in the chat. Uncle Guns. L's only.
I blame consciousness.
That's it. While
How do
we
you send
move.
money to you, Sarah? How do you send money to you? How PayPal?
Consciously.
Conscious. It's immaterial. How could you send anything? It's immaterial.
Felix wants
Yes,
to pay you
I
So
think-
$100
what?
so that he can
Material
keep going
doesn't
out.
mean it's not real.
Which is like a
Felix-
Material
Christmas
doesn't
movie.
mean it's not real.
Felix, let
You
me
think
ask you
material
this.
things are real?
Felix, before I go through the entire thing to get you a fucking link to send me money, one, are you going to send $100 right now to keep the show going? Because that's what is required.
Tell me the method first. The method to send money.
We have Cash App. We have PayPal. You can send it in the fucking chat on the YouTube channel.
I've never done it, Sarah. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
Is this
This is the
Before-
first show I ever
Again.
done in my life.
Again, before I go through all of the functions to try to get you to provide the $100 for the panel to continue, are you going to send $100 right now?
No, not right now. Next
Okay.
month, maybe.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So I'm not gonna waste my time going through all of that. All right, L's in the chat. While we move into our closing statements, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Y'all deserve nothing more from us, but we will give our final thoughts out of respect to my amazing panelists, all of you. This was a really fun night. All right, Ed, go ahead. Your final thoughts, sir. You're muted. Rookie.
Sarah, but you have to explain me how to do it.
Felix!
No,
You just
shut the
said
fuck up.
next month. I'm not even
Please.
waste my time tonight. I've already granted enough grace of time to everyone.
Maybe
And
I can do it tonight.
Felix, no, you just said next month. I'm not playing fucking games. And your final statement, please, uninterrupted by anyone. Ant, to you.
Well, it would have been a lot of fun to dig into some of these topics. Don't get a lot of chances to get into some real high concept stuff around here. It's often politics or more ethical stuff and whatnot. I like digging into these more high concept things. So I really appreciate you coming out here, Dr. Blitz. You too, Chase Martin. I know you weren't the guest, but you were kind of like the co-guest, it turns out. Thanks. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you, Ant. Very nice of you. Bones, to you, please.
So tonight we learned that only consciousness exists and it only exists immaterially, and also that modus ponens as an argument is self-defeating. Just amazing comments tonight, but in reality, that was really fun. Dr. Blitz, I've been a big fan of yours for the last few months. You, Ian, Deconstruction Zone, all y'all are pretty cool. So hope to see you again sometime soon, and hopefully have more conversations. But anyways, peace.
Thank you, Bones. Effigy, to you, please.
Well, what a fun night. Always fun. debating everyone. Great topics, great conversations. We really took a dive there toward the end. To make a final comment on the topic, yeah, the world was not created. It came about through long, deterministic processes. Nothing poofed into existence. There is no magic. There is no magic man. So sorry. Consciousness isn't everything. Material world exists. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody have a great night. Always good to hang out with you guys.
Thank you, Effigy. I always love it when I can bring on guests that you get excited for. They like the little chipper in your voice. Chase, to you, please.
Yes. Can I first ask, Salty? Is that I saw your hat? Are you a veteran?
Yes.
Oh, so I just want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, and there's several other veterans here. So, well,
thank you all.
Thank you to all of them.
Yep.
Just at least wanted to start with the respect that is due there.
I appreciate it.
Also, a shout out to Dr. Blitz. I'm a fan of his. I would not have been here had I not saw that he was coming on the show. This is my first time ever calling him anything. So it was a fun and exciting experience. And I really appreciate you guys letting me take up some of your time.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back, Chase. It's always refreshing to see new faces. So we've got a lot of different topics that we run through between politics, science, conspiracy, feminism, women are whores, all sorts of fun stuff. You'll have a good old time. Felix, to you, please. Clay's back for his final words.
I just hope that people respect people that make good arguments, and as much as they respect people with degrees, college degrees, that have no arguments. That's my final thought.
Perfect. Thank you, Felix. Clay, you're back for more.
Clay, help me.
Let's put him on the big. Hold on, Clay. Don't go yet. Hold on. I got. There you go.
Yeah,
go ahead,
I get
Clay.
the music. No, I appreciate you, Dr. Blitz, for coming up. These panels are a lot of fun, and I appreciate anybody else who came over from his side. You definitely presented some good arguments. I certainly learned some things from you. It's always great to have someone who actually does come from academia. Oh, even though I think a lot of you guys are highly uneducated, but regardless of that, you did present some valuable information, and I definitely don't agree with you. You didn't convince me, but I hope you do come back, and I hope your people come back too, because this was actually a lot of fun. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Sarah.
You're
and
welcome,
you guys,
Clay.
chat. You need to pay fucking Sarah already, guys.
That's right. I do like this one right here, by the way, as you were saying that. Nunny said, Dr. Blitz didn't talk down to us and didn't tell us he has a PhD and just listened because we're stupid. Thanks. And I agree with that. We've just recently had this experience where I was told that these conversations are not sophisticated enough by a PhD holder. So I appreciate you dumbing it down for me particularly, but I appreciate you.
How many hands do you have?
That's Elf.
Oh, Elf. Bye, Elf. We love you, baby girl.
He's got 0 hands, and they're not material.
They're not material.
What he didn't tell everybody was his PhD was pretty horrible debater, and he didn't tell everybody. Not yours.
And he wasn't dumbing it down. Clay just had him on his heels all night. He had all of us shook, and we just weren't our best tonight. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
But none of my points were refuted.
Oh, God. Joe, your final thoughts, please.
He had us shook too, that guy who was talking. Dr. Blitz, at some point, my best evidence of God, I told you in the beginning it was anecdotal. I didn't find a way to stick it in because it would have took too long, which obviously means it would have took too long. No, which is also funny. But stories of good and evil. The shortest version of I was with I got a bunch of them, but one I wanted to get in was I got a really evil friend, and he died recently. Really evil, killed a bunch of people and all of this stuff. And I had a book that I thought was spiritual or whatever. It struck me in a certain way. And I get high a lot. This is one of the rare times he picked me up over my girlfriend's house in the morning. I was not high or anything, drugs. And I touched him with the book and he screamed. And he did it a couple of times. And it was super dramatic. I'd had to give you the long story, but I can't figure out any other way other than good and evil. That he was driving down the street, by the way, and I touched him with the book and he started screaming, what is that? Get it away. What are you doing? Weird shit like that. But I didn't find a chance to change the conversation, but I would love to hear your opinion. And of course, you're going to have to take my word for a few things, that these crazy things that I'll tell you actually occurred. It was great rapping with you, man. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you, Joe. We love you. Salty Santa, and of course, Elf back there. Go ahead. Your final thoughts, please.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Blitz and Chase for coming on as well. And really everybody, even though we're coming from a lot of different perspectives, I personally subscribe to the belief that there are different ways of knowing and then there are different ways of believing. You know, how do you know you love somebody? I don't have empirical tests for that. There's not a hypothesis and things that I need to meet. But I think there's a good sharing of ideas here where people have Felix's view and people have Chase's or Joe Cool's or Blitz, even Clay's. But it's nice to discuss them with enough mutual respect to get through it and a little laughter. And so thank you again.
Thank you, Santa. And I'll skip over Balderson. Your final thoughts, please.
I agree with Nunny. That was going to be a lot of my main point. That I've interacted with a lot of people that have doctor and PhD in their name, and it's this was by far, in a way, the most pleasant. And with that, you know, I encourage everybody. I do this with our new guests that are really excellent like this. I like to go over to their social medias and their YouTubes and show the appreciation. And I encourage everybody else to do that too. You know, leave a fucking comment on his YouTube. You know, boost him up a little in the algorithm. Show him that we appreciated his time. I didn't mean to pick at you about something that wasn't in your field, but unfortunately I didn't get to hear the beginning part of your statement. I was outside working. I off-grid farm, so I was outside working, so I didn't get to. That was the only thing I heard, and I caught the evolution at the end, so I picked at that. But it was a pleasure exchanging with you, and look forward to doing it again.
Beautiful. And Dr. Blitz, I will give you the final say.
You know, I heard 2 dog shit arguments, and I'm surprised the worst one wasn't the. No, I'm kidding. No, it was a delight. I mean, like usually I wouldn't stick around this late, but I was having a good time. So my stomach will be angry at me for not eating, but it was a good time, even if it just ended up with me taking dumps on Clay and Felix. Like it's still a good time, and we can all appreciate a good time. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This was a treat, I think, for everyone. And I'm really pissed off. Fuck. Go ahead, Felix.
Did you say Felix?
Go ahead, Felix.
Felix, nobody said it. It's fine.
Dr. Blitz, did you say my name
no,
at the end of that?
No, you misheard.
Okay.
All right.
Beetlejuice.
So, as I was saying, as the host of this show, and I should not be so rudely interrupted, this was an absolute treat, and I'm really sad that the chat let this one fail and go away so quickly. I even gave a lot of Grant space tonight, and I wish you had let us keep going, because I could have done this for way more hours, even though I haven't slept. Friday night's debate has actually been moved to Sunday night between Israel Horowitz and Captain Tazariak. That has been moved to Sunday. Big announcement there. We also have another debate Monday night between Craig McNeil and Andrew from Dragon Fist TV. And I can't remember the rest, but you know the drill. Go find the live tab, find them all. And I anticipate Dr. Blitz coming back for some more, and maybe we can find him some fun heated debates as well. Outside of that, chat, fuck off.
Step right up, watch the panel parade. Each one's got a super no acolyte, talking in circles till collide. They're the clowns of reason on a carnival ride. Oh, the circus is in town tonight, spinning nonsense under the spotlight. Big words, small minds, what a glorious sight. Round and round they go. Who's wrong, who's right? They juggle opinions like flaming pies, tripping on logic with pie in their eyes. The questions asked, they dodge like pros, but their arguments wobble like dominoes. Cue the laughter, cue the cheer. The fools are loud, the truth unclear. Oh, the circus is in town tonight, spinning nonsense under the spotlight. Big words, small minds, what a glorious sight. Round and round they go. Who's wrong, who's right?
Spokey Man Bad.